A Ukraine summit at the White House remained peaceful, but did not achieve peace. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Tuesday, August 19th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. Yesterday at the White House, it was a much friendlier reception for Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky than his last visit. 6 months ago, an Oval Office meeting between President Donald Trump and Zelensky ended in disaster. Zelensky was accused of not being grateful enough, and he was scolded by a reporter for not wearing a suit. This time around, the Ukrainian president dressed up, and he thanked Trump about 11 times in the 4.5 minutes he addressed him publicly. European and NATO leaders who attended the meeting also joined Zelensky in a chorus of gratitude. But all of that thanksgiving wasn't enough to achieve a peace deal. After several hours of meetings, sharp differences remained evident between Ukrainian and European leaders and Trump. Ukraine wants a ceasefire before any negotiations with Russia. Trump said it wasn't needed.
You know, I like the concept of a ceasefire for one reason, because you'd stop killing people immediately, as opposed to in 2 weeks or 1 week or whatever it takes. But we can work a deal where we're working on a peace deal while they're fighting. They have to fight. I wish they could stop. I'd like them to stop. But strategically, that could be a disadvantage for one side or the other.
Despite that, Ukrainian and European leaders did appear encouraged by Trump's openness to security guarantees for Ukraine. The next step could be a meeting between Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin. President Trump said he will lead a movement to eliminate mail-in voting. That's number 2. Trump has long been critical of mail-in voting. He has spread conspiracy theories and false claims that the 2016 and 2020 presidential elections were riddled by fraud. Trump lost the 2020 election, and there is no evidence of widespread fraud. But his efforts to overturn the results culminated in the attack on the Capitol on January 6, 2021. Yesterday, Trump said he would sign an executive order to bring what he called honesty to the 2026 midterm elections. Trump cannot unilaterally get rid of mail-in voting, but his comments are another sign that he is trying to alter the rules around voting ahead of the midterms next year. Number 3. The Justice Department could start sharing files on Jeffrey Epstein within days. Earlier this month, the Republican-led House Oversight Committee issued a subpoena for files related to the late sex offender. Representative James Comer is the chairman of the committee. He said yesterday that he had been told the Justice Department will begin handing over documents from the Epstein investigation on Friday. This is a significant breakthrough in a case that has roiled Republican politics for weeks. Some of Trump's biggest supporters have lashed out at his administration for not releasing the files. They have demanded to see an Epstein client list. But the Justice Department has said no such list exists. Oklahoma will test some prospective teachers with an America First exam. That's number 4. Teachers from New York and California who apply to teach in Oklahoma will soon have to clear an extra hurdle. Ryan Walters is Oklahoma's superintendent of public instruction. Last month, he announced plans to administer a test to screen out what he calls woke indoctrinators. According to some sample questions shared by officials, the 50-question test will cover U.S. government, religion, and gender. Here's how Walters explained it on Fox News a few weeks ago.
If you're going to come from California to Oklahoma to teach, we're going to make sure you take a test and understand basic biology before we let you in a classroom.
Applicants will have to answer all 50 questions correctly to qualify. This is just the latest attempt by Oklahoma officials to push the state's education system rightward. Meanwhile, Oklahoma is facing a teacher shortage, and teachers' unions have criticized the move as a political stunt. Number 5. Texas declared its measles outbreak over, but the disease remains a threat. The measles outbreak in Texas left 2 unvaccinated children dead and led the U.S. to reach the highest annual measles case tally in 33 years. Yesterday, state health authorities declared the outbreak to be over. 42 days have passed with no confirmed new cases. That is double the virus's maximum incubation period between exposure and illness. But public health officials say the highly contagious vaccine-preventable disease remains a threat. That's because it has spilled over into other states, and outbreaks in Canada and Mexico are still growing. Hurricane Erin is bringing dangerous conditions to the East Coast. That's number 6. Erin will pass by North Carolina this week, just over 200 miles offshore. That's close enough to have some serious impacts. North Carolina's Outer Banks are expected to be hit with life-threatening waves, rip currents, and coastal flooding through Thursday. Some areas are under evacuation orders. And the risk of rip currents will expand and intensify along the eastern seaboard today and tomorrow as Erin moves northwards. So if you have an East Coast beach trip planned this week, you may want to reschedule. And at number 7, MSNBC is getting a makeover. Since 1996, the name MSNBC has been strongly associated with news and left-leaning commentary on television. But that is about to change. The cable news network is breaking away from NBC Universal, and it will split from its longtime sibling NBC News, which it has long relied on for resources and reporters. To mark the occasion, MSNBC is dropping the NBC from its name. Instead, the network will be called MS Now. That stands for My Source for News, Opinion, and the World. The network acknowledged that the name change could rattle employees. But yesterday on his show, host Joe Scarborough said it was a good sign about the future of the company.
We're going to be moving in this direction, MS Now, which I got to say, I got a call yesterday afternoon and they're saying, we hope you're okay. We're going. I was like, what do you mean? This shows we're independent.
Whether or not anyone actually likes it, the change will take effect later this year. All right, you're all caught up. For a deeper dive into Trump's efforts to end the war in Ukraine, check out the latest episode of Post Reports. White House correspondent Michael Birnbaum explained the latest developments from Trump's meetings and how Trump's attempt to rush a deal could advance Russia's goals. Find Post Reports wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.